Alright guys, we're back for another first impressions video. So in this video we're going to be talking about one of my most recent additions to the collection. One I had really kind of been anticipating getting my hands on, and I finally pulled the trigger on it. This is from the brand of YSL. This one is going to be YSL myself. So Yves Saint Laurent is one of the top designer fragrance brands in the world. Probably for me one of, if not the top designer fragrance brands, at least as far as my preferences, my liking, just due to the fact I haven't found a Yves Saint Laurent fragrance that I really have disliked, and I have well over 5 to 10. And I'm still, I would say, a moderate collector. We're still trying to build the collection out, but nonetheless, I have YEDP, YEDT, I have Y Le Parfum, L'Homme EDP, I have Blonde with L'Homme, Blue Electric, and it goes on. So when they dropped this new MYSLF line, I was actually quite intrigued to try it out. I was like, is it going to be another run-of-the-mill, flanker where it's going to be the same DNA, just maybe changed a couple notes, or is it going to be its own unique scent? So nonetheless, buddies of mine and kind of other people have been like, hey, have you tried this new one yet? Well, finally got it. And this is actually, they dropped a newer one since then, but this is the one from 2023. I added it, and so we're gonna go through our full initial blind smell reactions. We're gonna test this one out and see whether this one is still, is this another dub from Yves Saint Laurent, or have they finally dropped one that is not so appealing? So nonetheless, we're gonna go through the whole thing. Obviously, first and foremost thing we have to do is go through our unboxing. So let's get that done. Simple unwrapping, box it. Right, there we go. So they keep the same sort of minimalist look. This looks a little bit like the Y Le Parfum DNA, or Y Le Parfum bottle, I should say. Now this one's a little bit even simpler than that, but nonetheless, still looks, kind of modern, kind of luxury and classy. Definitely doesn't look cheap at all. And then we have not a magnetic cap, but a nice clamp-on cap. So as far as that's concerned, typical of what you'd find from the Yves Saint Laurent fragrance. And we got a 1.7 ounce bottle of this fragrance. So nonetheless, all we're gonna do, we're gonna go through our opening smell test, and we're gonna go off the strip and go off the skin. So we're gonna get the full test of the opening, the mid, and the dry down. This one is known to be another sort of fresh, sort of citrusy, floral, woody fragrance. So we're gonna see, how does this fare versus the other fragrances in the line. And so all that's left to do is really give it a try. So let's go. 3, 4, and 5. Nice atomizer, nice widespread atomizer. Fills up the room really quickly. That's okay. We're getting. This one is good. This one is good. Nice opening, nice sillage, nice spray, nice projection. Getting another citrusy fragrance. Nice smooth citruses though. It's almost like a nice bergamot to this one. This one, I'm liking this a lot. I'm liking this a lot as it sits down. But this one, you're getting some bergamot, and I think either just bergamot, but I could be wrong. It seems like there's some lemon, like bergamot. Definitely bergamot, but I'm not sure whether it's bergamot and lemon or just bergamot by itself. But a really nice, smooth, citrusy opening. But this one's not as tart as other Yves Saint Laurent fragrances. This is almost in line of like YEDP Intense, so like the turquoise looking green bottle, or you can even, I would put this in the line of like a YSL L'Homme, either the EDT, I would say, but not so much of the ginger. The ginger makes it a little bit, tart, a little bit spicy, but this one's really, really smooth. This one's really good. Really nice opening, and the sillage is still in the air, still setting pretty good. So nonetheless, opening smell test is really good. We're gonna let this sit for a few minutes, and then we're gonna come back and see just how it fares in the air before we do the next part. All right, so we're back after about 10 minutes, and definitely the sillage is really good in the air from this fragrance. This is really good. And I took a look at the note breakdown as well. So yes, we do get some bergamot in there in the opening, and we're also gonna get some orange blossom. That orange blossom is giving it that floral touch that is really smoothing this fragrance out. I like that orange blossom in here, that floral component, to where it's not overly citrusy, it's not overly fruity, not overly tart, but it's got a nice balance to it. It's not woody either, so you definitely get a nice blend of fruits. It's really kind of an invigorating fragrance, a really invigorating, uplifting, kind of vibrant opening. All right, but then they have two other fragrances. You're getting patchouli, which I am getting, sort of that green sort of appeal, right? So this is definitely more of a fresher fragrance, not fresh out the shower fresh, but daytime fresh, when the sun is out, when it's a nice cool breeze. I would imagine this is gonna be some in the spring, just off of the first impressions. Now they have another note in here that I am not too familiar with, only because I don't see it in too many fragrances, but it's a note called Ambrofix. So not Ambroxan, Ambrofix. Ambrofix is a note, when I looked at it, is a note that gives a fragrance a bit of a muskier amber accord, and you do get a little bit of that because this does give off a little bit of a woody sweetness. It's not overly woodsy. It's really not woodsy at all, but it's a sweetness like there's something else lingering in the background. So think of like your ISOE Supers, you know, that molecular one-ish derivative. So it's definitely something where I imagine would be really good to the skin, really good to the person's, you know, kind of body chemistry. Because this one I feel like would blend really well when you spray it on. But nonetheless, really great and impressive opening, you guys. Really enjoying this one. So now we go through, we get the tester strip, which I got right here, and we're gonna test it off the strip to see how the mid checks out. Nice sprayer. We'll go just 3 off the strip this time. I'm gonna let it air out some. Only thing I'm mad about right now, and I always tell us, I wish I'd have got the bigger bottle, because I imagine I'm gonna be wearing this one a lot. But nonetheless, all right, this one's dried down. Let's test this out. Really nice, really pleasant fragrance. Honestly, this is one of those ones. This is one of those ones, guys. It's not gonna wait. We're not gonna waste a whole lot of time today. This is really great. Again, nice, smooth citrus with that bergamot. Then you get in that orange blossom. The orange blossom and that bergamot is really a nice marriage of notes. The Ambrofix is really giving it a nice skin accord. It's almost like it's giving it a little bit of woodsiness, but it's not one of those where you're smelling a whole lot of woods. It's not smelling like any type of pine. And then it's also giving that orange blossom, makes it smell almost like lavender. It's really nice, fresh clothes, you know, sort of appeal. It's really nice, really invigorating. Nonetheless, guys, this is really great fragrance, really impressive. Okay, thus far, I'm really astounded by the fragrance and kind of how well it's been blended, how well it's been presented. But nonetheless, okay, nice citrusy opening, getting a nice floral orange blossom, almost lavenderish mid, with a little bit of a woodsy base with that nice Ambrofix mixed with that patchouli is really well put together. So nonetheless, we're 2 for 2. I'm really astounded, really wild. All we gotta do is test it off the skin, and I think we'll have kind of our first impressions done in the camera. All right, last thing we gotta do, we gotta test it off the skin, then we'll go through our final breakdown. Here we go. Just gonna go 2 off the skin. Air out, and then we'll see how it does when it's on a person. So yep, 3 for 3. 3 for 3. We don't even gotta waste time on it. So again, guys, if you like a nice, smooth, citrusy, floral, slightly woodsy, and a nice patchouli-based fragrance, you're definitely gonna love this fragrance. Now, with that being said, okay, we got another dub. We got that accounted for a win, and who is gonna wear this? Definitely, this is your daily driver fragrance. I would imagine this for the daytime, when it's sunny out. I think this one is gonna go really well if you're outdoorsy, especially if there's a nice breeze outside. So I'm thinking spring. You can wear this in the summer, obviously. It's summer appropriate for sure, but I think it's hot its powers are gonna be most felt in the spring, especially if it's a little cooler, a little chilly, kind of, and you have a nice breeze. You walk by, people catch a whiff of you. That's gonna be this has head turning potential without a doubt. But you can also wear this for a day night, I would imagine, if you want something that is not so gourmand, not so bubblegummy sweet, not so chestnutty boozy. You want just a nice, well put together, classy, luxurious fragrance for a nighttime, for a day night. Definitely, I think this would be a great one for you as well. And then this would be a nice office friendly fragrance if you're a guy, you're in his teens, or maybe you're still in college. I think this would definitely be a nice daily driver for school, because it's not overpowering, right? It's not overpowering. It's not gonna over intoxicate the room. It's gonna be a nice fragrance with a nice sillage, a nice central to it for sure, that you'll really be able to have a great first impression on people whenever you wear it. And I mean, for the price, you know, this to me has the quality of You can have this as your kind of your reliable, trusted day-to-day fragrance. If you're a guy who doesn't want to have a whole bunch of fragrances in a collection, this would be a nice one. You get a full bottle of this, it'll last you, and you really have a nice fragrance that you can touch on all season, all occasions with this one, really, truly. But nonetheless, that'll do it, guys. That's done and accounted for. That's a dub if I haven't seen one in a while. So again, one that we didn't have to waste a whole lot of time breaking down. It's just a matter of, it's another great try to tested fragrance DNA, right? And they just made a couple of tweaks and other alterations. They kept the formula simple on this one, right? About 4 notes. And I always tell you guys that you don't have to have the most complicated notes. You don't have to have 15 to 16 of them. If you are able to get a fragrance well put together, well blended, well kind of emulsified, and that's all that really matters, right? And then from there, it's just a matter of getting it out in the market and getting people wearing it. Another first impressions done and accounted for as we continue building the fragrance collection up. So again, this one reminds me a lot of that original YSL Loam DNA, but a little bit more modern, a little bit fresher. And then even fragrances like, if you like Paco Rabanne, I would say like an Invictus, in that Invictus line, that Invictus Platinum, but you want a little bit more, a little bit more smooth, a little bit more floral, a little bit more on the patchouli, less on the citruses. Definitely, I think you'd like this. Even the Paco Rabanne Phantom, that kind of line of fragrances, but a little bit fresher, not so sweet, definitely. But nonetheless, another first impressions down the account for, guys. That'll do it. Again, appreciate you guys stopping by. If you just found my channel, make sure to hit the subscribe and the follow button so you get notified anytime I drop any fragrance content. I appreciate you stopping by. All my loyal followers in the family, again, appreciate you guys. We're just building this community up from the ground up. We're on our way up. But nonetheless, guys, that'll do it. Appreciate you guys. Thank you. Have a nice day, and we'll catch you on the next one. Much love.